Today I thought I'd talk a little bit about working on lines and the idea of transcribing stuff and how this all works. The point with transcribing stuff is if you're working on a Coltrane record or a Charlie Parker line or whatever, apart from if you're using an app, these records are at the tempo they're at. And back in the day when I would transcribe stuff, and a lot of my contemporaries, we didn't slow things down. We transcribed them at the tempo the piece was played at. Now, obviously, as I worked on it, I would be slowing it down when I was practicing it. But it meant that pretty quickly, if you were trying to figure out a line, let's say you were playing something by Pat Metheny, and I'm working on a Metheny line that might go like this. That's a Metheny line I transcribed 25 years ago, right? As I was doing this in real time, it meant that I would have to figure out fingerings on the instrument, play along with what Pat was playing. And because I wasn't slowing the recording down, the fingerings I was working out were really good because I had to figure out something that was efficient and that I could actually use at the tempo of the recording. Sometimes when you slow stuff down incredibly slowly, or everything's in tab or whatever, and someone's giving you their fingerings, you don't figure it out for yourself. And I don't think that's a great thing. So, that being said, let me take you through a fragment of a Tubby Hayes line, a little slower. And I'll actually talk through some of the permutations. Okay, so here we go. So part of the line, which I really like, does this. It's actually quite a, I've heard different players do this, but check it out. So imagine this was over, let's say it's over a G minor. So here's the line. I'll slow this down. One more time. Now let's say we're working this out from a recording. I might take the four notes. Get that first note. Da, da, ba, da. Figure that out. Find the fingering for it. Now, to me, obviously you could play it this way. Doesn't sound as good, I think. That's probably the best way to play it, right? So that's probably what I do. So I go. Now the second part of the line. Okay, so I go. Now slow it down. Notice what I did here too was I actually shifted. Now, you could go, I don't see that working at speed, whereas the shift is much easier for me. So let's say I was transcribing this in real time, all right? Let's say I play this fragment with, rewind my Walkman or whatever, and I'm playing it along. I can see and feel that that fingering is going to work really well, and as I shift, that's a really easy shift to me. What I'm doing is I can visualize this two different ways. It's G minor, so the line starts on the A, the ninth or second, and it's outlining a B flat major triad, isn't it? A, B flat, D, F, right? With this approach note, the A, a half step below. The line starts on the beat, ba ba da ba da ba da da, like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Now the second half is the really interesting part. Repeats the A, the ninth. Right? Then it goes to an F sharp. Gives us a minor major 7 sound. This sound. Love that little tension in the 9. You can think of that F sharp as an approach note into the G, right, chromatically, or as a just minor major 7. And what's that from? It's from Melodic Minor. What did I just play there? Let me slow that down for you. This is G Melodic Minor, the scale of G Melodic Minor. I'll play it slowly. Check it out. I'll play it down here. It might be easier for you to see. Strange, because it's almost like a major scale, isn't it, at the end, second half of it, but it has a minor third. So you can think of this a couple of different ways if it's new for you. G Melodic Minor, same as a Dorian mode, but with a major 7, or easier still, it's a major scale with a minor third, because you go, there's that minor third, 4th, 5th, 6th, major 7, octave. Okay, so to me, the second half of that little line I showed you has melodic minor qualities. Now, if I slow this down again, like I said, it'll work over G minor. But if I put a C7 under it, also sound cool under there. Listen to that. So you'll hear the sound of this. Now listen to the line, and that chord will sound underneath it. It's really nice too, right? You've got this sharp 4 note. That's a dominant sound with a sharp 11 in there. That's actually suggesting the 4th mode of that melodic minor scale, which is called the Lydian Dominant. That's a whole other video to get into, but the Lydian Dominant is the 4th mode of the melodic minor scale. And if you're familiar with your major scale modes, the Lydian Dominant, it's like the name says, it's a Lydian major scale but with a flat 7, or you can think of it as a Mixolydian with a sharp 4. Some people even call it that, but generally it's known as a Lydian Dominant. C Lydian Dominant, C, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B flat, C. So it's a dominant 7th scale but with a raised 4th or sharp 11, right? So there's this line for you. Works great over a G minor chord. Very cool over a C7 because it's suggesting that sharp 11. It could also work over different chords that are related to these. That's the thing. So that's, again, a whole other video. But I just wanted to slow this down a bit more for you. Now, in a previous video, I showed you a longer version of this line that had this idea. Now, this uses some approach note stuff, right? Which is very neat as well. But I'm only going to talk about a little bit of this today so the video doesn't get too long. But one of the things this does on the descent, when it goes, comes down a D minor triad. So you, right? Now, that could lead you to think, okay, well, it works over a D minor, and it could. It's okay on that, but it still works nicely over that G minor, even with these notes, A, F, D, because it's 9, flat 7, the F, and D. So the point of one of the last videos I posted up here where I was playing my white bass was to see a line and look at how you can reimagine it over different chords, the same line. And then the other thing I talked about was taking the line and playing it an octave lower as well. And I played that just briefly because it was a short video. So what you can do is take lines like this and play them in different registers. Check it out. So if I have, you can play it here, having to use open strings here. Do you want to get in that? Then here. See how nice that sounds over G minor. And I'm just exploring the sound of that now in different registers. I don't, fingering wise, it's not so great here. I have to use the open strings. That's better. See what I did? I added an extra note now. So let me slow that down for you. At the end, I went. So what I did there was C to A. Over G minor, that C is the 4th, the 11th. Beautiful sound. Check it out. So it's this sound. 2. It always reminds me of Blue and Green or something with that sound, this chord voicing. And so on. Anyway, so this is one of the things that can really sort of help you is transcribing stuff. But like I said, don't always think the stuff has to be slow. Just take it in tiny fragments, you know, because part of it is ear training, you know. And if you can get to the point where you're writing stuff down in real notation, it really opens you up to all the different materials available, all these great books out there, you know, books full of Charlie Parker transcriptions, Coltrane stuff, Michael Brecker, you know, Bob Mintzer's great books. You know, the video series that I do, there's PDFs you can get for those. I put some of the stuff on the screen in notation to help you as well. But part of the thing is using your ears as well is a really good thing to develop.